Hey guys, it's Christmas. Forget about what I said about not eating sugar. We're totally going to make some sugar cookies today. I'm using a recipe from the Minimalist Baker, which I'll leave linked down below. For this recipe, you're going to need a cup and 3/4 of all-purpose flour, half a cup of vegan butter. I am using the Melt brand. You'll need half a cup of white sugar, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and then you'll need a half tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You'll also need a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. You will also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We accidentally put a whole tablespoon in there, so we'll see how that turns out. I'm also going to be making a separate batch using Bob's Red Mill egg replacer instead of the pumpkin to see what the results are. The first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and add your vegan butter into your mixer. Turn it on level 1 or on low so you don't over mix it, and turn it back into oil. Once that starts to cream, then you'll go ahead and add your sugar mixture in. Now remember guys, 1 teaspoon, not 1 tablespoon, but it's okay. I like vanilla a lot, so I'm sure it's going to be okay. See, I'm asking my husband right there, are you sure it's 1 tablespoon? Continue to let that mix on low so all the vanilla becomes incorporated into the butter sugar mixture. Now you want to mix together your flour, cornstarch, baking powder, baking soda, and salt together. And if you are super fancy and have a sifter, great, go ahead and use that. I'm not fancy, I'm not a baker, so I'm just taking an old-fashioned whisk and just whisking it by hand. Also, don't forget, we do want to add our pumpkin puree. I forgot to do that on the first step. Again, guys, not a baker. Following that, go ahead and add in your dry ingredients slowly. Or fast. I don't really care. Whatever. Again, not a baker, so everything goes in just kind of quickly. Next, I added 1 tablespoon of milked cashews. That way it made the dough a little bit wetter, so it would be more of a dough consistency. You'll want to put the dough back into your mixing bowl and then put it in the freezer for 15 minutes before you start assembling your cookies. Oh, look at this non-baker getting all fancy. I'm using a cookie scoop here. Wound up actually being a little bit too big for the size cookies that I needed, so you'll want just a little bit over a tablespoon worth. Roll it into a ball, place it on your cookie sheet, and the recipe does say to take a back of a cup, coat it in sugar, and then smash it down, but I really didn't want to add any more extra sugars, so I just used the back of my hand, and we thought we were going to make this super fancy fork pattern like they do in peanut butter cookies, but you'll see later on that I wound up just scrapping that one cookie. And yes, I did take the dough off of the fork and eat it. So here we are, just kind of doing it by hand again, rolling it, throwing it onto the baking sheet, and smashing it with my hand. My husband did promptly come right behind me and rearrange the cookies so we could actually put the proper number on a sheet. He is definitely the baker in this family, not me. Then you'll throw them into the oven, 350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. I believe we did go about 11 minutes on these. So here they are, completed and cooled, and it looks like they didn't flatten at all. They stayed nice and fluffy and tall. So here we have version 1 with the pumpkin puree, and then version 2 with the egg replacer. So the pumpkin puree ones are a little bit darker. Granted, there is more vanilla in them as well, but they look about the same to me. I think the pumpkin puree cookies are slightly not quite as tall as the egg replacer. So we'll go ahead and just crack them open. The pumpkin puree are a little bit more moist and they are a little bit fluffier. The egg replacer cookies are a little bit denser and a little more chewy. And I do have to say I do prefer the pumpkin puree, so those will be the ones that I make from now on. Please let me know if there's a sugar cookie recipe that you really enjoy making. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up on your way out, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye.